Okay, it is Wednesday afternoon, and I'm here with Kelly Wheeler. How you doing, Kelly?
And I am doing fine, Jim. It's a great day in Florida. It's raining, but since I'm working from my home office, I love the weather. It gets me in the mood to sell real estate.
Yeah, well, we had rain all last week. It's finally sunny here in Kentucky. But we're doing this video. This will be less than a half hour. We're going to share the power of BannerSeason for real estate agents. So BannerSeason truly offers life-changing products, and you'll see that on these slides. What I like to tell agents is I did make hundreds of cold phone calls my first 15 years. I did knock on cold doors every weekend. And when Zillow came around, I did end up paying Zillow a little bit, Realtor.com, to get leads. You still can do that, but you don't have to. And you certainly should work your sphere, but you don't have to beg your sphere by calling them, asking them for business. Those are all okay things to do, and that's kind of the conventional real estate marketing. But what Kelly and I and other realtors who are using BannerSeason like to say is be different than the other realtors. And boy, can you be different with BannerSeason. This is the kind of stuff that all other realtors are mailing out or dropping off. It's all company information. It's all about the real estate agent or about the company. The only thing that's changed is the name of the company, the name of the realtor, and the logo. Well, about 12 years ago, I started sending custom greeting cards like this. And this was actually the very first one that I sent. And it was an expiring listing. On the bottom of the screen there, you can see it had expired 7 different times. And I didn't go after it those first 6 times because it was overpriced. I don't want overpriced listings. If I had them, yeah, sure, I've had them, but I don't want them anymore in my later on career. So I didn't go after it, but I saw it got greatly reduced the last 2 times, and I thought, I'm going to try sending a custom greeting card. So I took a photo of the house, sent that card, put "this could be yours," a message on the inside. It seems kind of silly, "this could be yours," but keep in mind that's the first card that I ever sent. So it didn't make sense, but the message I had on the inside was, "I'm different than all other realtors. Are you still interested in selling? I'd love to talk to you." He called me up, said he wanted to list with me based on the card alone. And I thought, oh my God, this is phenomenal. Here's another example. This one was listed 3 times, and at the top of the screen, I have the history. Each time it expired, they relisted with another company, another agent. Bottom of the screen is the top of the MLS sheet, and you can see that first photo. That's a horrible first photo, so I knew if I got to meet with them, I would be able to list their house just based only on explaining how important the first photo is. Because that happened to be a 46-acre farm. You can see 46 acres. That's a horrible photo. Even of just a house, it's a horrible photo. So you'll see what I sent them in a minute. They called me up when they received my packet and went out for the listing appointment. They listed that very first day. While we were doing the listing paperwork, I saw a stack of real estate information on her dining room table. And I said, "What's that? It looks like it's real estate information." And Mr. Barr said, "Yeah, Jim, we got that nice box with brownies and card from you with a photo of our house, and that's what we got from everybody else." So I asked them, I said, "Could I take that with me?" And they said, "Well, of course you can. We're listed with you. We don't need it." So these next slides are everything else that they got the next few days after their listing expired. All about the agent and the company. This is what they got from me. A greeting card like that. The photo of their house on the front. Yeah, awesome farm. And then I just changed the wording to fit the house. Put awesome farm, and then my message on the inside, I threw another photo in there, put their name. And another photo I took of a small pond on their property with my information. And they called me and listed. It's phenomenal. Now with BannerSeason, the company that we're with now, you can not only customize cards, but you can customize gifts. And imagine if you own this house right here, and you're either for sale by owner or expired, and you're debating which agent to list with, and you're getting all that company information from all the other realtors, and you got 10 or 20 realtors hounding you on the phone every day, calling you. And then you open the box, and the first thing you see is a card with a photo of your house. Inside that card is my message. And then below that is a coffee mug with a photo of the house. And I did a full wrap on that, and a couple brownies with a different photo of their house. You'll notice it's a different photo. That sets you apart. And do they always call you? No, of course they don't. You don't get phone calls all the time. But here's what happens. Whether you're sending just a custom greeting card or a custom greeting card with 1 or 2 gifts, When you do the follow-up and you tell them I'm Jim McCord with Keller Williams, they remember instantly, and it happens every single time. It turns a cold call into a warm call. But it truly is amazing how often you get calls just from sending these products out to for sale by others and expireds. Now, with BannerSeason, you can not only design the card, but you can design the envelope. This is a 5x7 card on the right, and I actually put the photo of the house on the envelope, on the front of the envelope. So people get between 2 and 10 pieces of mail. They're pulled out of their mailbox or walking back to the house, and they sort through it. I know that's what I do. And you sort through it, and you see an envelope with a photo of your house. You're going to think, oh, my God, who did that? It's going to be the first envelope you open. And then this happened to be an expired. Your listing is expired. Are you satisfied with the previous realtor? I use different wording for different things. Now, you can't really tell on this. The previous cards you saw were 5x7. This card is an 8.5x11 greeting card. The greeting card is on the right. And the envelope that greeting card came in, which is about 9x12, is on the left. And that is an incredible package. To give you guys an example of cost, the greeting cards are $1.99 if you're a basic member. They go down to 50 cents if you're a gold package member. And that's 5x7. These 8.5x11 are $6.99 if you're a basic member, and they are $3.67, including designing the envelope if you're a gold package member. Incredible power. This was a thank you card to some clients that bought that house.
Jim, let me throw something in here. Can you go back one?
Yeah.
So what I tell realtors is the power of marketing. Whoever has the best looking cake, their cake gets bought. If you go to Publix and you're looking for a cake, you're going to buy the one that it's just beautiful, not that generic thing they made. So this card's $3.67. If you go and try to do advertising on Facebook, which I do, for me to generate a seller lead, it's going to cost me on average $3 to $5 per lead, right? What Jim did is he sent something to either an expired, a FSBO, or a GeoFarm, a potential seller, for less than $3.50. He sent them something that no other realtor sent. They all sent home evaluation cards. Are you ready to hire an aggressive realtor? My franchise is so good, we've done it. He sent them a picture. Now, when they go to their post office box or their mailbox and they see a card with their picture of their home on it, what are the chances they're going to open it? Wouldn't you agree, Jim?
That's exactly it. And it works. And like I said before, does it work every time? Of course not. But it works far better than anything else I've ever tried. And it works exactly because it is different. I mean, look at these packages. This was a $1.5 million expired home. So they got a photo of their house on the front. Your listing is expired. Are you still interested in selling? With a coffee mug. And on that coffee mug, I actually put 2 photos. Very, very powerful. This was a thank you card. These people bought this house from me. Put on the inside my message to them and a photo of them on the porch of their new home. That was the back of the card, and they got 2 coffee mugs just like this with a photo of their house on one side of the mug, photo of them on the other side of the mug. This is a packet I sent to that family in the middle who bought this house, and it was not a house they were going to live in. It was a flip house. If it was a house they were going to live in, I would put their house on the front of the card, but they bought it, fixed it, and flipped it. So they got this, and I just got photos of their family from their Facebook and put an adventurous family on there and my thank you message on the inside of the card. And they got, and you'll actually see this in a minute, but they got 2 coffee mugs, one for Mike, one for Sarah, and 4 brownies for the kids. That was the card. That's the inside of the card. Took a couple photos of Mike when he was rehabbing, demolishing the inside of the property. Photos of Sarah and the kids. And Sarah got the mug on the top. 2 different photos, one of her dad and her brother, and one of her, Mike, and their kids. And Mike got the mug on the bottom. Him, Mike, and the kids, and Mike, Sarah, and the kids got the brownies. And on the brownies, you'll note I put brownies not for parents, but for the Delaney kids only. It's an incredibly powerful package. So this is the text I got from Sarah. You're really up in your game with those mugs. Brownies are good too, but the mugs melt my heart. People are not going to throw those away. They're going to keep those mugs and keep them forever. Now, what a lot of realtors do, I'll throw this in really quickly. A lot of realtors join banner season. They send out mugs, but they put their photo on the mug and their name and their logo. Well, people don't want my photo or Kelly's or yours or any other realtor. But if you send them brownies and mugs and water bottles and things with their photo or their family or their house, they're going to keep them. I like to throw this in. Cindy is the top agent in our MLS. She's been around for about 14 years. The last 5 years, she's the #1 agent. She joined BannerSeason about 6 months ago. Matter of fact, I just got a testimonial video from Cindy just like an hour ago, and I'm sure it'll be posted BannerSeason Legends eventually. But everybody Cindy has worked with since she joined, everybody she works with, she asks for their birthday, and she throws them in the birthday campaign. BannerSeason has a birthday campaign. And she asks for the birthday, she puts her name and address in there, and every year, every single client, buyer, seller, whatever that Cindy works with gets a birthday card. And on the inside, it says, I really enjoyed working with you. Please enjoy a cup of coffee on me. And she includes a $5 Starbucks gift card. And then at the end, she puts, I love referrals, Cindy, and she gives her name and her information. I mean, imagine if it was just once a year. We should stay in touch with our past clients more than that, but just once a year, how powerful that is. And keep in mind, she only does that one time. She's not sending a card out every year to every client. She's inputting them one time. Happens automatically. Very quickly, I had a short sale some years back. It was really frustrating. It wasn't going anywhere. The deal fell through twice. I was on my third deal. The lady who was handling the short sale for Equator, or who handles Bank of America, they have a system called Equator. The lady was a nightmare. And we were getting nowhere. I had gone through 2 buyers. The third buyer was getting frustrated, and I thought, I got to send a card to the CEO of Bank of America. So that's what I did. I Googled CEO of Bank of America. His name was Brian Moynihan. Threw that photo of Brian on the front of the card, one of his quotes, that message on the inside. I won't read it. We are going to make a YouTube out of it, so you can go back and read it later on if you want. And I sent that with a big box of brownies. He called me that next week, listened to me, talk about how poorly Bank of America handles their short sales, and that property closed that Friday. Now, there's no other way that I could have gotten in touch with the CEO of Bank of America. His secretary, when Brian called me up, he said, Jim, my secretary came running in this morning and said, Brian, you have to see this. So I'm sure that's the first card Brian Moynihan ever got with his photo and one of his quotes on the front of it. Very quickly, a personal story. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me drop something kind of in line. Now, you were talking about reaching out to an executive that in somewhere in that chain of custody of that cell, you needed to reach, and you used a highly targeted card to do that. So for those of you that are listening, I'm thinking about this. Imagine one of the untapped markets within real estate is probate and divorce lawyers. And they all will have to refer out deals to real estate agents. So can you imagine doing a campaign where you're sending coffee mugs and cards to the real estate attorney? Literally, it's not going to stop at the secretary. If you go to that law firm and knock on the door, you're going to have to deal with a secretary. But if you send a card like that with a message of what you can do for their divorce clients that need to sell, or a probate estate sell, and you offer something to them and then send them this, think about the deals that you would get just off of a coffee cup or a mug. And I bet everybody on here, all 12 people listening right now, you probably never thought about reaching out to an attorney that's an estate planning attorney. But let me tell you right now, if you do something that simple, you're going to get closings.
Yeah, and you can't just send them an email. You have to send them a package with information about them or their firm or their family, not about you. So very quickly, BannerSeason is phenomenal, not just for business, but also for personal. Our son Jimmy is a pilot, and he was working for a commuter airline up in New Jersey. And Ultimate Jet Charters is here in Cincinnati. Our son was making 20 grand a year flying, and that's what all new pilots make. People don't believe when I say this in presentations, but that's what new pilots make, 20 grand a year for their first 4 or 5 years. And he was away like 18 nights out of the month, and he really wanted to get a job with Ultimate because Ultimate pilots fly out and back in Cincinnati every night. They're at home every night. And he had a wife and one child and one on the way. And he told me one day, he said, Dad, Ultimate, I cannot get an interview with Ultimate Jet Charters. He goes, I've dropped my resume off. I sent him emails. I've sent him letters. I can't get it. I said, Jimmy, we'll send him a card. And he was very reluctant. He goes, no, Dad, no cards. I know what you do with those cards. And I said, well, I tell you what, I won't send it to him. I'll create a card and I'll send it to myself. And when it comes in, I'll show you. Then if you like it, we'll send it. So that's what I did. And I asked him who the chief pilot was. He said his name was Dave. So just put Ultimate's logo on the front. Dave, Dave, the guy who's going to do the hiring. One of Ultimate's jets on the front of the card, and then a photo of Jimmy flying, who he was flying for up in New Jersey. On the inside of the card, I made the whole background one of Ultimate's jets, dropped a picture of Jimmy in as a co-pilot, little note to Dave, and I sent that with a big box of brownies. Jimmy called me up about 10 days, 12 days later, and he goes, Dad, he goes, you're a freaking genius. I said, what? He goes, Dave called me. He goes, I got an interview with Ultimate Jet Charter. And not only did he get the interview, but he got the job. Now, he didn't get the job because of this card. He got the job because he's a great pilot. He's got a lot of hours, and he's great on interviews. But he absolutely got the interview strictly because of this this package that was sent to him. It's phenomenal. Yeah, and I wanted to show this just quickly. I'm not going to talk about these other than to say, when you design products, whether it's a water bottle, a coffee mug, a journal, brownies, whatever, it's just like designing a card. You got a blank slate and you create whatever you want. You can make the photo, as you see on the bottom left, you can make the photo of the full wrap of the mug. You can put multiple photos on there, and you can put wording on the photos. And I always tell everybody, hit preview before you send. Design it, whether it's a card or a product, hit preview, and you'll see exactly what it looks like. If you don't like it, you can go back and edit. And just like this Coldwell Banker mug, look at that on the left in the middle there. You can put backgrounds on mugs also. And when Michelle got that, she just could not believe. She joined the day she got that mug. She couldn't believe how beautiful that mug was. So you can put backgrounds not only on cards, but on mugs. And there's another black background on that mug. That's a water bottle to our daughter. Thank you cards. Thank you card with a gift. Like I said, they're going to keep those. They're going to keep those personalized. This is a golf outing I go on every year, and they use BannerSeason to thank the foursomes. This happened to be my foursome. So they put our foursome on the front of the envelope and the front of the card. Thanks for playing in the Maisie Lynn Open. Inside of the card, a group picture of a bunch of the golfers, and then, their appreciation note. And on the back, they put their logo. That was last year's card. So I'm going to turn it over to Kelly now. And Kelly's going to share something really incredible, something else really incredible. Go ahead, Kelly.
So real quick, Jim kind of nailed it with the power of what you can do with BannerSeason. BannerSeason is not just a postcard company. I know a lot of people think, oh, you can do postcards. That's one secret. The other one are in the utilization of what we call closing gifts or opening door gifts. And I think Jim masterfully showed what his experiences are. I mean, Jim, I didn't even realize the thing about the jet. To me, that right there, all you would have to do to me, if I'm an agent in Timbuktu and you reach out to me, just share that with me and I'm done. I'm like, okay, I see this thing. But one of the things as agents we need to realize is there's more power to it than cards, closing or opening gifts. There's also the ability to do lead generation. And as real estate agents, we all need to be generating leads. We're only as good as our last closing. Once you close a listing that you sold or a buyer you got under contract and you close, you're out of business until you've got the next deal. Hopefully you've got multiple deals, but the point of fact is we've always got to be at prospecting. And one of the things that BannerSeason honed in on is the ability to prospect for not just any client. I always tell agents, don't go after buyers, go after the right buyers. I can drop a Facebook ad right now and pick up a bunch of buyers because I'm that good at the marketing. And I don't mean that egotistical. It's just I've honed it in. But I'm going to be working with people with 200 credit scores. Not working with them, but I'm going to get them all the way up to 800. So what we have found is if you can work with a highly targeted list, it eliminates a lot of waste, time, and money. And for those of you that have seen my videos, Jim shared them. One of the things is with BannerSeason is the ability to take their highly targeted list building and create a marketing funnel to get your information to them. So what we've done is we've shown you, and we've got videos, you can see it, on how to build a mailing list. So in banner season, you can go after sellers and buyers. I don't know if you guys are aware that most of you have seen Jim and I go over how to find buyers, but you can do sellers too. But in this instance, if you wanted to go into banner season and take your zip code, you can do your whole county, you can do whatever, but just take your zip code. And you're gonna go in there and you're gonna hit create or build a mailing list and do individuals. When you do this, you're going to have the ability to watch this. If I'm dealing with trying to find renters, I can find out everybody that's renting currently in a zip code. I can find out if they've been renting for a minimum of 2+ years. You see, your prospect has to have the pain of renting. They've had to have rental increase at least for the first year. They've had to have the downside of having to allow the landlord into their apartment with a 24-hour notice. Loud noises. So they've got to have some pain. So what I do is I go after people that have had at least 2 years rental all the way on up. Then I'm looking for renters who are of a specific age. I don't want to deal with 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I'm going to be starting with finding renters that are like 28 years of age and up. I can even take this list and only pull people that have a college degree. I can further collate the data, and I can bring it into a situation where I've got a particular credit score. So for this one, we've got an estimated credit rating of 700 plus. I can drill down and say, I want an income of X amount. I generally stay at 45,000. I know for here we've got 40. So $45,000 all the way up. And I want them to be a renter. So once all of that data is put into the system, this is what Jim found. In his zip code, he took probably 24,000 people that this software says lives in that zip code that would be a lead, down to 169 of the most highly targeted, qualified, opportune buyers he can work with. Now, Jim doesn't have to vet this list to see if anybody has crappy credit. He doesn't have to see if they just started renting. I mean, these are people that would be receptive to his message. And if Jim has an offer, or if you have an offer, look at this list. And then what happens is you buy this list. I don't know if you can notice, but Jim could buy this entire list for $16. Now he owns it. He can download that to an Excel sheet and send direct mail if he wants. He can also go into banner season and literally for as little as 37 cents up to 50 cents, depending on the size of card, he can send a postcard to every one of these if he has a good offer. Now, what's a good offer? You got to do something on your cards that's beyond, I work for this broker. I've been in business for X. Here's a picture of me. I really work great. I'll do, what? It has to be an offer for this to really work. We're talking about laser targeted marketing. So Jim can send a really killer offer to these guys. But here's the deal. We all know because of marketing that not all 169 are going to call Jim up and say, my God, man, where have you been all my life? So what he's going to do is he's going to set up postcards over the next 1 to 6 months to this list. And here's what I know. If he sends enough postcards with the correct offers, the right offers, Jim is looking at 3 to 5 closings a month within 60 days off of this list. This is just one list. Now, this is one zip code. If he wants to branch out for the entire county, I guarantee you that 169 would probably be about 2,000 to 3,000 of the most opportune buyers. So if anybody has a question, make sure you go down to the chat box, drop it, and we'll try to get with you on that. But Jim, let me ask you this. Before we talked about this, had you seen the power of that in banner season?
Kelly Wheeler is the one who brought this to me, actually.
This crazy?
Yeah, Kelly is a techno genius, I call him.
Now,
and this build a mailing list had been there, but I had not used it. I didn't realize the power of it, and I contacted Kelly for just another reason that we don't need to get into. And Kelly showed me this, and I thought, oh my God. So this was another example. This is a different zip code. This is 41071. Wow. And I went down to 30,000. Credit rating, I went down to 650. And there was 305. So for $28.82, that list is dropped into my banner season address book in a group. Thank you for the purchase. And to give you an idea, that's the total cost. $28 to buy the list, 305 postcards. The postcards themselves, design and printing, are free. 37 cents is the postage only. $112 to print and send 305 postcards. So the total cost is $140.85. And that's a targeted list to renters who have a credit score above 650. It's unbelievable.
So Jim, check this out. Those same numbers, if you were to run an ad on Facebook for buyers, you're not going to guarantee that you're going to get that detailed targeted list. You're going to get buyers of all spectrums. It's going to cost you a minimum $2 to $3. So let's say $3 a lead. $3 times 305, let's just call that $900 before you do anything. So you're going to spend $900 for leads from Facebook that might or might not be your opportune prospect. Then you've got to decide, am I going to direct mail? Am I going to email? What are my systems? This, you pay $28, not $1,000. And you can literally do a 4 to 5 postcard campaign to them over, say, 6 to 12 weeks for less money than actually spending on advertising just to get their information. Do you see the power of that? Incredible.
Kelly, here's a couple questions. Brenda says, agents always act like they have this within their company or their MLS. How would you address that?
Tell me what you mean by that. Agents always act. Where's Brenda at? Let me do this.
Well, I'll give you an example.
Brenda,
go ahead, Brenda.
Okay, I think I'm off mute, correct?
Okay, yeah, I just took you off mute. Brenda, tell me what you mean by that.
So I work and train a ton of real estate agents in coastal Virginia, and I have a lot of gold members as agents. However, when I show them this, they don't seem to be as enamored with it because they act like, oh, I can get that kind of information off of the MLS, or I can get that information out of my association, hurrah, or I can get it through my company. So they don't seem to, hey, this is really cool. Now, I don't go to the depth that you do. Now I will, but can you respond to that?
Yeah, so I'm going to say something, and I don't want you to, because we don't know one another.
Right, so that's fine. I'm open.
Okay, don't take offense at this. Here's what I know. I can go look for Cadillac. If I go to a dealer and the salesman comes out and he's like, this Cadillac's great, it's got this many miles, it's got this, blah, 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 blah. Or I can go to another dealership. The guy comes and say, dude, this Cadillac is raw. Nobody has one like this. Let me tell you what this Cadillac can do. Yeah, I'm buying from him. The other guy, he's a funeral dirge. So I would check, Brenda, and find out how I'm presenting it, because here's what I know. I know the MLS, at least my local one, from the back of my hand. I cannot get a list like this from the MLS.
Okay.
Now, there is the ability through the MLS, and that's not for this training, to get buyer leads. I train on that on something totally different. But those buyer leads are actually people already listed for sale, working with another agent. I just invite them to my listings. I don't wait on them. So that's a buyer lead, but I'm not working with them. So this particular process, this is one of the most highly targeted ways that you can get these leads. And I promise you, if you describe it to them with that kind of a passion, it'll make more sense. Because here's what I also know. A confused mind always says no or meh. And so I would look at how I'm presenting it and make sure you're going over all the bells and whistles. Guys, these are the most highly targeted leads, blah, blah, blah. I hope that helps.
Sure does. Thank you.
Tell you what, I like to throw something in there too, Brenda, because I get that occasionally too. Number one, like Kelly said, they cannot get that from their MLS. I'm a coach. I've been on over 150 different MLSs across the country. You can't get that. You get some valuable information, but you can't get renter addresses. You just can't get that. But they may have access to another mailing list company. So with that other, because there's tons of those. So what they can do with that is they can buy that list, but then they have to create some kind of delivery card or something, and they have to send that. The beauty of what we have is it's all together in one package. So they buy that list, it goes into a group, into their mailing list. They attach a card to that, put first name, last name, brackets around there, and they're done. We are a one-stop shop. That's the big difference. They can go buy mailing lists, but they can't custom design cards and get it all done in one shot like this.
Perfect. Thanks, both of you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Jackie Ulmer has another question. Kelly, you mentioned 3 to 5 per seller lead with Facebook. Do you have a ratio of how many leads you close? To answer this question, it's kind of a generic question for me because all agents are different. I'll give you, for instance, if you go to Zillow and they try to sell you on buying their leads, they're going to tell you, if you ask them, expect to close 1 to 2% of the leads that you buy from us. Now, you're going to spend $100 for a Zillow lead. I don't like those numbers. If I spend $1, I want $7 to $10 back in my pocket. So what I would say to you is, depending on you, the agent, if you've got a solid offer, and I'm not talking about, well, I'll do open houses or I'll communicate, I'm talking about a solid offer that makes dollars and cents to the buyer and or seller, then you can expect to close between 5 and 9% of the leads that you're actively working. You can't just buy these leads for 28 bucks, send them one postcard and say, well, dang it, Kelly, I didn't close 5%. You didn't do it right. If you're active with these leads and you hang with these leads, you can expect a 5% closing if you're active with them and you have a great offer. Without that, it's a waste of time and money. But to answer your question, Jackie, you're going to close a lot more with a highly select targeted list than it's like dropping a grenade in a lake when you advertise on Facebook. And I do a lot of Facebook advertising, but it's like dropping a grenade in a lake, and then everything that floats up, whatever species, you collect it. You have to go back to the shore and sort everything out until you find that spotted bass. Well, you're going to get rid of a lot of stuff to do that. This is not dropping a grenade. This is using a smart bomb up in the sky, finding that prospect and boom, blowing up out of the water. That's what the difference is. So you should expect a higher closing rate, Jackie, with a targeted list like this over Facebook. And the last thing I'll say is, Jim, we don't have time to do it today, but guys, we're talking about these are renter leads that are targeted. Wait till you see what you can do with seller. And Jim, we can maybe do another one, next week. Yeah. Wait till you see how you can target sellers. It'll blow your mind.
Yeah, there's two kinds of marketing. I call it spray marketing and targeted marketing. And spray marketing is like Facebook ads, Zillow ads. It's like farming to 700 different homes. It's throwing stuff out there and hoping something's going to hit. I did that. I did a lot of that early on, my first 15 years. And does it work? Yeah. But you're spending a whole lot of money to a spray market where maybe at the most 10% of those people are thinking about buying or selling. Whereas if you target renters, they're more likely going to be buying. And if you target for sale by owners and expireds only, and you do it in a different way, you're going to have way better return on your investment than the spray marketing. So in closing, I'll just mention my book. It's on there. It's $7.99. Don't buy it from Amazon. That's the previous version. You need to go to BannerSeason.com and you get that book for $7.99. If you're a gold member, it's $5.99. And then we'll ask anybody who views this video to please contact the person that sent them this video, because you are going to need an invitation code. And Kelly, I'll let you just briefly talk about how they can join.
Sure. And guys, if you want, look down at the chat box, because some of you have asked some questions we're not going to cover. I'm leaving my email. I don't know how quickly I'll get back to you, but if you want to ask me a question, Jim, if you're okay with this, I'll just simply answer the question. Drop your question. One of you asked about sending postcards to any. Drop me a question. I'm going to go ahead and put it in and see. I've got it right there. Let me enter. Boom. There it is. So just copy that email. If you have a question, hit me up. And we'll go from there. So Jim, tell me again what your question was.
Oh, my question, I was just going to let you, not your code or my code, but let them know the different ways they can join and what you recommend.
Sure. So if you're not going to use this in a manner that you're going to want to promote it to other people, because you can, I would join as a customer and I would start utilizing these gifts to further your business. Now that would be what I would call that just basic level one. Come in, get an account with BannerSeason, and just be a customer and start purchasing these products. Guys, just for the closing gifts alone, if you're not going to use it for marketing, closing gifts alone, there's really not much like it out there. And I know I've been doing this a long time. When I found them, I was ready to do it just to be able to send coffee cups. When Jim sent me a coffee mug, it blew my mind. To this day, it's in my coffee counter in my kitchen, and it's my go-to coffee cup. I love it, and every time I pick it up, guess who I remember? Jim McCord. So that's a great way for you for branding. There's also a way for you to come in where you don't pay anything. I believe it's a referral account, Jim. You come in, and you're able to purchase these gifts. You can't do the mailing list that we just said. You won't have access to that, but you'll get some of these products at a different rate. Then there's other plans like silver, gold and up. The gold is for a limited time. It's $49 a month to month, but it's what gets you the mailing list feature. It's also what gets you cards for as little as 37 cents a piece. They're waiving the $300 setup fee. So if you've been on the fence about it, I don't know, it's the 27th. I'm anticipating sometime next month for that to go away. It was kind of a COVID thing that they were doing. So if you want to jump on board with the gold, it's $49, guys. That's it. It's month to month. There's no long term, and you waive the $300. So those are some of the options you have when you come in, but there is, again, the free option. It's just going to cost you more to purchase the gift. So whatever you're comfortable with, I would suggest doing it, because here's what I'm going to say, and I'm going to end with this. I use a lot of marketing. I'm a marketing guy. I brand myself as the real estate ninja of marketing for Lake County and Central Florida. However, this is probably in my top 5 tool case of marketing things that I use. BannerSeason's right up there. And wait till you see down the road how you can utilize BannerSeason with your local MLS, your Remind, if you have it, will blow you away. So that's where you're definitely going to need the gold membership. So those are the ways to do this, guys. It's up to you on how you want to do it, but it is a game changer if you want to generate leads and convert like crazy. This is a conversion machine.
Kelly, thanks so much for being on here today. We will have you back either next week or the following week to talk about that seller targeting that you were you discussed earlier. Yeah. And thank everybody for being on here. Anybody who's watching the video who is not currently a member, remember to contact the person that sent you this video to join BannerSeason. See you guys next week.
Thank you.